How long to sip Chinese herbs for herbal tea, and why do we mix different herbs together? Learn to choose the right chrysanthemum flowers and explore the differences between red date, black dates, and honey dates. Plus, discover which herb you can eat after making Chinese herbal soup. Hi everyone, I'm Shirley, a Chinese medicine practitioner and a Western pharmacist from Australia and currently living in London. If you have been following me for a while, you might be aware that I teach an online course about the fundamental of traditional Chinese medicine and how to infuse Chinese herbs into nourishing tea and soup for a healthy and balanced life. I recently wrapped up my third course, and one thing that my students enjoy the most is our weekly question and answer sessions. I make it a tradition to share the snippets from these sessions on this channel. So for today's video, I selected and compiled a few frequently asked questions, and I hope you'll find them useful too. As the previous two batches of students, my students are from all around the world, bringing diverse perspectives that enrich our discussions. What is really special about this batch of students is that they span generations, ranging from their 20s well into their 80s. Isn't it amazing? I love teaching and interacting with them so much. Each of them bring their unique experience and background and ask very interesting questions that motivate me to dive deeper into those topics. I have to say I learn just as much from them as they do from me. One note though, I did not script my answer obviously because they were real-time discussion with my students. I have chosen questions that are suitable for public sharing while respecting my students' privacies. Also, please keep in mind that my students already have a good grasp of TCM basics from my course. So there are many instances where I did not further explain some of the concepts or the herb that I might not have covered here, but I have taught them in my course. If you would like to join our Q&A session and be part of this fantastic community, I have a membership program opening soon. If you are at the Ginseng level, you will get to participate in our monthly Q&A session just like this one in the video. Stick around until the end to learn more. So now, without further ado, let's go to the heart of the questions.
Generally, how long do you steep to get the teas?
Okay. So good question. If it's flour, shorter time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah?
Okay.
Or even just 5 minutes. Sometimes quite quickly. If it's like red date goji, I would say about 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes.
Okay. If they are more root based, let's say dangshen. So if you have the small slices one, I would still prefer about at least 10 to 15 minutes or so because they're root. So if it's just on boiling water without cooking it on the stove, then I would say give it at least 10 to 15 minutes and let the flavor and the concentration come up. Okay. So it's really depending on what parts of the herbs that you use. So flour is the shortest, berries and seeds, then it's in the middle, and then the root will be a little bit longer. So that's
for the roots. Oh, I'm sorry. For the roots, should you be boiling it versus just steeping?
Yeah, let's say if it's dangshen, would be good if you boil a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So you will have the more flavor, not just the flavor, but the function that show up. So you don't have to boil for too long, probably about 10 to 15 minutes on the stove, but you can do multiple boil if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, multiple boil. Even the herbal decoction we give as a herbalist, we could do up to 2 or 3 times boil, because although as you boil more, the concentration is less, but you are making full use of the herbs. You're not throwing it while it still have the active ingredient in there. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, things like last week we talked about the huang qi, astragalus. Huang qi sometimes come in a very thin slice. Those can just in hot water. Sometimes if they come in the thicker, there's also root base. If you want to quickly boil it, it's fine too.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Not exactly. While some we intentionally try to create inverted comma the balance, but a lot of the time, if you go through my lesson, I think I did mention, sometimes we pick the different herb in the same group. That is to enhance and complement each other. Okay. Sometimes we might choose one herb from this group and the other herb from the other group, although their primary function are different, but their secondary function might be similar. So that is when we combine them also to enhance each other and also to supplement each other. Okay. So for example, one of the blend is, let's say, the most standard one. It also help everyone to remember the lesson. So it's the goji berry and chrysanthemum flower. Okay. Goji berry is a yin tonic, the primary function or how they categorize. But chrysanthemum flower is a herb to clear heat under that category. But chrysanthemum flower also can help to support the eye through clearing the heat, the wind heat, and the stress. Yeah. The goji berry is to support the eye, but through nourishing your yin. So if you have dry eye, you nourish the yin. So although they come from two different groups, but we often combine it together for symptoms that manifest on both spectrum. So sometimes when you're very stressed, you eat a lot of heat, but your eye could be also very dry, right? And then, or someone already have a longer term of dry eyes or already a very tired eye because in front of computer all the time. That's why we also add the yin tonic that also can nourish the eyes through the purpose of relieving the dryness, supporting the yin to support the eye health. So there are a lot of strategies on how a properly trained herbalist to mix them and how we choose herbs based on the person presentations. So it's not just as simple as just to balance the warm and cold property. So that's, yeah. But for beginners, so that's why I give you all those more standard formula or commonly seen that everybody know it's out there, like goji berry and chrysanthemum flower. It's like everyday thing in Asia. Most people do know. The cassia seed, I add one extra just to enhance the formula for people who have bowel motion, more heat and stuff. If you still new-ish, and then you want to stick to those that more traditional, there is a reason why they are combined in that way, which I will explain in the lesson. You could start with the basic formula first. And then I already give you the modification. If this happen, take this out. If this happen, you can increase the dose. If during this season, I already give you some modification, you can slowly follow that until you become a little bit more confident or you see some interesting recipe. It's okay to try too. Yeah, I think, like I said, as long as all the herbs are more food-based, common one, then that's fine. You can try a little bit and see how you feel like it. That's fine too. Okay. Yeah, Gloria, all good?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
What is the difference between red dates and black dates? Are they the same?
No, they are same. No, sorry. They are under big group. It's in my lesson. You can go back to check, but I'll quickly explain it here. So date in general, they can tonify qi and blood in general. Yeah. So the red one, it's more focused on tonifying our qi. The black date, it's more focused on tonify our blood, TCM blood. Okay. So that's why you will see some recipe, some of them, they just mix them. The flavor also slightly different. Some cook, they probably don't fully understand the difference. They probably create the recipe based on flavor. So you find that the red date is a bit sweeter, and then the black date have a slightly smoky taste. Some people like it, some people don't like it. And there's another one is honey date, is also part of the lesson. So the honey date is sweeter, and then we say the focus of the honey date is more supporting our spleen and stomach. So for people who has a weaker stomach and spleen or digestion, they probably use the honey date. But on the other hand, because it's also sweeter, so you probably also see in many soup sometimes. So I think some recipe been passed down in that way based on the flavor profile. So I'm not too sure whether they do construct the recipe based on specific use. But yeah, generally speaking, that's the 3 different dates. Okay. It's all depending on individual and depending on what kind of herbs you put inside. So personally, for example, like me, let's say the dry Chinese yam, I don't like to eat it. After you boil in the soup, it's For me, it has no flavor. It's very hard to chew. I just don't eat it. But if you use a fresh one, yes, eat it. So for me, it's more about whether they're palatable or not. Technically speaking, once you cook it, the soup itself, we say it's all there. If you don't want to eat it, it's fine. But I will eat my red dates. I will eat my goji because I find that they still have the flavor. They still quite nice to eat. I will eat my fox nuts and the barley. Yeah. But let's say if I have the dangshen in there, I won't eat it. I just can't chew it. It's very, very fibrous, like very thick, and I can't chew it and I can't swallow it. So I won't eat my dangshen. So let's say the lily bulb. Lily bulb, usually once you cook it, they soften. That's fine, you can eat it. And then of course, if you have the fresh one, it's even better. Yeah. So that's a lily bulb. What else do we like? There's certain leaf I don't eat it. If you put there are leaves and flowers, I probably won't eat it. So I think it's quite individual, but I tend to eat the berries, the nuts. Yeah, the berries, the nuts, and the dates. Those I will eat. Or the Chinese yam, now we can get the fresh one, eat the fresh one. So if they are like potatoes. So after you cook it, you still have the flavor. Chrysanthemum flower, we have a lot of talk in our community forum. So yes, especially in Asia, there will be war of chrysanthemum. And then there are many different types for you to choose from. I won't go into the detail, but I want you to know at least there's 3 types of chrysanthemum that is easier to recognize by the eye, or at least when you read the label, just read that. So usually, technically speaking, chrysanthemum have 2 colors, the yellow and the white. Generally speaking, the yellow is more wind heat clearing. Okay? Generally. And then the white one, it's more for the eyes. That's just the easiest for everyone to know, depending on how you want to use it. If you have the wind heat symptom, the headache, and sleeping really late, you use the yellowish color. And the white one, it's more gentle and then more for the eyes. Okay. In the discussion, we did talk about the Ye Ju Hua, the wild chrysanthemum flower. So the wild chrysanthemum flower, the presentation is tiny little flower. It's tiny, but it's already open. Those are the wild one. Actually, according to the textbook, it's categorized it's separate out as a standalone herbs. And then it's still a chrysanthemum, but it's a lot stronger in terms of the heat and a lot stronger in terms of toxification. So when you have, let's say, you have sore, those are, we say, the toxin, then you can use the wild chrysanthemum flower. Okay? They are more bitter, stronger, a lot stronger, and for detoxifications. So those are the general 3 types of chrysanthemum. But in terms of the Gong Ju Hua, the Hang Ju Hua, and then Hao Ju Hua, those are in different provinces in China. Okay, so there are many. They say in China there are more than 1,000 types of chrysanthemum flower. Some of them we use it for herbs. Some of them we use it for pleasure. Every article will have their own argument which one is stronger in what. But I don't want you to worry about it too much. So I think the main thing is to understand there is a white and there is yellow, and the flavor might be slightly different because they come from different regions. So it's up to you. Of course, there are different grading. So some might be a bit more expensive depending on the grading. So they say usually if the flavor is better, the flower is more complete, or the bigger one, it might be more expensive. Okay. So that's more on the grading and also where they come from. Usually Gong is one of the main one, and Hang is one of the main one. Okay. So those we see more often in Asia. So basically just choose whatever you feel more for drinking purpose, the flavor that you like. Of course, if you want, and then you choose more yellow one for the heat, the white one more for the eyes.
The black fungus, is that the longer you soak it, the more toxic it is? Why is that?
They found that when you soak it for too long, it releases a chemical that bocaric. Did you see my sharing on the community forum? I didn't tag everyone.
I probably didn't yet.
It's okay. Yeah, let me quickly share it with you. It's actually a food warning from, I think, the Hong Kong government. So there are cases in Asia. So what happened is this person soaked their black fungus overnight and then just leave it on the bench. Okay? They're soaking it on the bench, not in the fridge. So the longer that you soak, and then if the weather is hot, somehow it will release chemicals that will cause damage to the liver. Let me just pull out the article for just in case you can't find it later.
Just soak everything in the fridge, not outside.
Ideally, secondly, only minimum hours.
So it applies to the white fungus as well?
I would say there's no cases.
As a safety precaution.
I think all fungus or mushroom. So that's the article. So that's from Hong Kong government. It's in English, so it's easy for you guys to read. So now their recommendation is don't soak it for too long. And then ideally don't do overnight. If you have to, put it in the fridge, especially on hot day. Okay? But I personally never soak any fungus overnight. I have a bad experience. Lion mane mushroom, it's been quite popular and you can find the dry form. And I didn't even soak it overnight. I think longer than what I want. I just leave it out on the bench. And then when I take it, it have this strong, intense smell. And then the water drip out from the mushroom become very slimy. I knew it's gone. So I would say all type of mushrooms, no fungus, they are not unsafe, but you have to prepare it safely. Okay? Because some of them do need soaking. So when you soak, until it puff up, just stop. Clean it a couple of times. Don't leave it out there on a hot day for longest time. The only thing that I find it's okay is the peach gum. Peach gum become very popular these days. Peach gum is very hard to soak. It takes more than a day sometimes. So peach gum is not a fungus. So that one, if you wonder, you can soak it longer, but still put it in the fridge just in case, especially on a hot day. But all mushroom fungus, a couple of hours, done. Clean it, wash it properly. If it's hot day, even put it in the fridge. Yeah. So that's that. I think that's it. Yeah?
Thank you very much for teaching us.
No worries. I saw your nice comment. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Yeah. We have one more week.
Write a book. Write a book for us.
No, I constantly learning from everyone. It's from the question that you ask me, and then I go to research, and then I read more, and then I remember what I learned as a kid. So it's a constant learning for myself too. It brings back a lot of childhood memory. Sometimes if I don't know, I call my dad. Dad, like the longer one. Why they are two different colors? I found some information online. I wonder whether they are right. So I'll call my dad, and then he will tell me. So it's a good learning from me with my dad too. Okay, I hope you are enjoying learning with my students. Among the questions that I prepared for you, these are just a glimpse of what we discuss during our Q&A sessions. We dive into a diverse and variety of topics that are related to traditional Chinese medicine. For instance, a student shared heartwarming stories about her mother who used to soak a mysterious Chinese herbs in alcohol and apply to treat bruises. Grown up as an adult, she had always been very curious what the herb's identity is. And with a few questions, I was able to identify it for her. It was like solving a mystery that has been persisted for many years, and we accomplished it together during our Q&A sessions. In another case, a student shared a photo of a box of herbs that her mother had kept for years. Together, we discovered that it was the Korean red ginseng. I provided guidance on how to use it, tailored to these students' specific needs, and answer follow-up questions such as the difference between American ginseng and Korean ginseng, as well as the distinction between fresh and dry ginseng. We also discussed the perspective of traditional Chinese medicines on women's health, fertility, menopause, and many more other topics. I did not include these interesting questions in this video because the discussion involved extensive back and forth with my students. For privacy reasons, I decided to keep it amongst the students only. Nonetheless, it is in this interaction that we expand our knowledge together and often save my students and members hours of searching for answers online, and likely they might still have trouble finding the correct answer online. I think this is what's unique about this course and the memberships. If you're eager to be part of this community and participate in this Q&A session, consider enrolling in my course early next year or join my soon-to-open memberships. So please allow me a few more minutes to share with you what this membership is about. There are 2 tiers to the membership. One is a Ginseng, one is the Goji. So both tiers have access to a library of Chinese herbal profile tailored for everyday use. These profiles go beyond the standard herb monographs, offering extra suggestions for how to use them in your kitchen and incorporate them into your daily meals. Sometimes, if I find any interesting clinical trials or studies, are also included in the herbal profile. We also have a community forum for members to share experiences, to engage with each other, to share photos of herbs that they found in their nearby herbal stores, or share photos with the food that they created. I'm also actively participating in those discussions and answering questions and offering guidance. Occasionally, I host paid workshops, which our member can attend them for free. If you are at the Ginseng level, you will get to participate in our monthly Q&A session just like this one. You will also receive replay videos with timestamp and summary if you can't attend. Even if you can attend, you still have a big library waiting for you. You can go back to watch it anytime that you want. And our library is constantly growing because this membership I already run for more than a year now. I'm also committed to support our students and members with credible resources. Being a pharmacist myself, I do like to read credible resources and also clinical trials. For example, in the video where my students asked about the black fungus soaking, instead of just giving answer to her, I conducted a thorough research and provided suggestions and links from those good websites. Answers to such questions are shared among all the members and complete with references and evidence. If you're interested and want to learn more about it, please drop your feedback or any question that you have in the comments below, or you can email me directly on this email address. Don't forget to join the waitlist through this link. I don't open my membership too often because I want to ensure that we maintain and create a close community before I open to new members. I'm very grateful for your support for this channel, as well as to my pay programs such as my memberships and the online course. This keep this space vibrant and allow me to provide valuable and free content for long term. Thank you so much. I hope to see some of you in my memberships or my online course. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and please also give it a thumbs up or share with your friend if you find this video useful or you think your friend might be interested in the topic too. Okay then, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Thank you again.